Come back to order. Next item on our agenda is the award of bids. I'll entertain a motion to approve the award of bids.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Miller?
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We have 3 items this evening. The first is for contract A-22-16. It's the citywide paving and milling contract. The City of Salisbury Internal Services Department Procurement Division received a request from the Department of Public Works to solicit bids for contract A-22-16, citywide paving and milling. The scope of work for this bid solicitation will furnish all of the labor, materials, and equipment necessary to perform large milling and paving projects within the City of Salisbury. The Procurement Department followed standard bid practices by advertising in the Daily Times, on the City of Salisbury's website, utilizing the city's vendor list, and advertising on the State of Maryland's website, eMaryland Marketplace. A total of 3 vendors submitted a bid by the due date and time of Tuesday, August 25th at 2:30 p.m. I did note on your bid packet the 3 vendors and the 3 bid prices. The vendor that submitted the lowest responsive and responsible bid was Chesapeake Paving and Sealing Incorporated. There are sufficient funds to cover this purchase in the noted account. The Procurement Department concurs with the recommendations submitted by the Department of Public Works and thereby requests Council's approval to award contract A-22-16 citywide paving and milling to Chesapeake Paving and Sealing in the amount of $515,800.
Are there any questions on this item? All right. Okay, no?
The next item this evening is change order number 4 to RFP 04-14. That's the Main Street Master Plan. The City of Salisbury Internal Services Department Procurement Division received a request from Salisbury Public Works to process change order, in the notes I have 3, but it's actually number 4, in the amount of $12,250 for RFP 04-14 Main Street Master Plan. This change order will provide for the design of broadband conduit into the Main Street Master Plan drawings. Funds are available in the noted account, and the Department of Internal Services Procurement Division requests Council's approval to process change order number 4, as noted above, to A. Morton Thomas and Associates in the amount of $12,250.
Just a quick question for Mr. Molds. I read in our packet that the timeline would be pushed back for bidding on the construction of the project until early December. Is that, is a 60-day timeline push for this change about what you would expect? It seems.
Well, not only, finalizing it, we want to, when they do make the changes, we typically need a little review time to look at that everything's together. And then we put the package together that go to procurement. So it's not just AMT's time, it's going to push it up a little bit, because our original timeline was around October, which is about where we're at right now. So incorporating those two, I think that's what we have to look at.
So what do you anticipate for actual breaking ground? Is that early December, or is that even further?
Well, we could probably, now, because we're going to receive the bids in December, we'd have to come in back to council, go through the procurement process. So we're probably looking at, and getting the contracts awarded, we're probably looking at another 30, 45 days. So, and we're in the middle of winter there, and we can see where things are.
Yeah, okay. So
Mother Nature's going to start
we're
stepping
pushing
into
until the warmer months then, aren't we?
Yeah, we all cross our fingers El Nino warms things up here a little bit, maybe we'll get started.
In line with that question, one of the other things I'm curious about is what the phase 1 or phase 3 that's happening first, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
Whatever the phase 1 actual construction timeline is expected to be until phase 1 is complete.
Well, you're talking about the plaza section.
No, I'm talking about the first section that will be under construction.
Oh, the first section in
Yeah.
terms of the timeline with that?
We can call that whatever you want.
I know,
Let's
that's-
call it phase 1.
very
Just change the
confusing.
numbers on the
Can we
phases.
change it to the right phase?
Let's call it phase 1.
Okay. That I'll have to get back to you on, because just with the timeline and everything, it's been, I think we were looking at 9 months, I think, on that,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But I can confirm that for you. Probably what we can do is we get close to the whole, get the final plans and get ready to go out to bid, we can put together a new timeline for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
One comment about the phases. I will pay for the board, the new poster board, if we can renumber them and print it right. In the order we plan to do them.
But then we got the complication whether we're gonna have a phase 3 or a 2, now 3.
But we just name them by the section instead of 1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you.
The last item this evening is a declaration of surplus for bicycles, a wheelchair, and some fitness equipment from the police department. The City of Salisbury Internal Services Department Procurement Division received 3 separate requests from the Salisbury Police Department to declare the following items as surplus: 36 bicycles, 1 wheelchair, and 13 pieces of fitness equipment. The bicycles and the wheelchair were found, forfeited, or unclaimed, and attempts to return these items to known owners have been unsuccessful. It's the suggestion of the Salisbury Police Department that the bikes are either sold at auction or donated locally, and the wheelchair will be sold at auction. The fitness equipment is broken or used or duplicate items at the Salisbury's PD's fitness and exercise room and is suggested to be sold at auction. A detailed list of all the items is included in your packet. The Procurement Division requests Council's approval to declare the noted items surplus and to allow the Salisbury Police Department to dispose of the items as noted.
Ms. Shields?
What condition is the wheelchair in?
Let me see if it's mentioned in my packet. There's some other. Hang on. It doesn't say in my packet, but I can ask the question.
Only reason why I suggested, thought about that, donate it to the city, because some people may need a wheelchair, like some of the council members who have surgeries and.
Have downstairs or in the.
And if they can't, you have to be wheeled up, or, I'm just giving that suggestion. They don't have a wheelchair here in this government building. There may be somebody else that may need it, and that's why I didn't know the condition of it.
Okay, I can find out what condition it's in.
That's the only reason why.
Sure.
Also, I would like to see the bicycles donated to a church group or some group so that we can maybe get some of the kids that don't have anything to do, something to do.
And I know they do
It was in
try
the
and do that
highway.
when they can. Sometimes the bikes that are maybe too far gone are the ones that we put up for sale.
My question, one was about the wheelchair, and I was going to suggest Bay Area Council for Independent Living or somebody that helps get equipment for people that can't afford to get it, but I like Ms. Shields' suggestion. We don't have anything here for someone who comes in and can't navigate our halls on their own. So that was one thing. The other thing was about the bicycles and that kind of property. It's noted each time that they weren't able to contact the owners or they weren't claimed. Do we put that up on a website, or is there a way to do that they'll say, I found a ring, describe it to me and prove it's yours, I'll give it to you. So we can't really put up pictures, but is there a way, how do we, if it's not registered, do we have any way to try to contact them, Chief? I had a bike stolen like 2 years ago, and the only way I see whether it's on the list, and I look every time, is to look at the list while we're surplusing them.
Well, from time to time, we do put out photos of the bikes before they actually get turned over to local agencies, and then those that are just beyond use are auctioned off in lot. They mainly get auctioned off for parts, essentially, because they can't be used. We did that recently, and we got absolutely nothing, but we're going to continue to do it. It's part of the process, but we'll put it out through social media, just in large lots. And to date, we haven't gotten anything.
Okay, thank you. In regard to the fitness equipment, are there any other departments? I know the fire department has fitness equipment, and you have a fitness room, and is there anybody else in the city that can use them, and how do we end up with duplicates? Did we buy new, and that's how we got more? or-
We haven't purchased any fitness equipment for many, many years. This is very old.
Okay,
It
so
is
it's
not
not
in-
worth-
No,
okay.
it is not in good shape at all.
Okay,
And there are duplicates, just mainly because at the time when they established this room, they wanted to focus on certain types of conditioning that might not hold true for today as to what, we look for in conditioning pieces. But again, this is not something that we would necessarily, if it's usable, certainly, but it's not something that is in real good shape.
okay, thank you.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Regarding the ultimate disposition of the wheelchair and the bicycles, I agree that with the bicycles, if at all possible, they should be donated, where possible, and I realize that's not always something that can be done. Pretty sure that in the past, the health department has even tried to acquire, maybe not the health department. There's a meeting in the health department I've been to several times. Chief, maybe you can.
Normally what happens is, there's a group that we work with here, and I believe it's through the Joseph House, and they'll normally come and we cull out the ones that are usable. But we've also gotten requests within the last couple of months from disabled veterans. So we'll be looking to unite them with bicycles as well out of this lot, if they're usable, if they're safe. But we get a lot of the shelters that request, and we work with them. We just did our last, from our last surplus, we just had a large batch. So it all remained here locally.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I just think based on this conversation, the ultimate disposition is probably something that maybe Chief has heard us, I'm sure, and if you have strong feelings, if you can share them with Chief or Ms. Miller or Mr. Stevenson from this point forward, I think that makes sense. But I think we can vote on the award of bids as it is. All right. With that, all those in favor of the award of bids, please signify your support by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Miller. Thank you, Chief. Next item on the agenda is, Mr. Rolls, Resolution 2545, the accepting of a donation to the Salisbury Skate Park from the Salisbury Skate Park Committee. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2545.
So moved.
Second.
What just happened?
Something
There's
happened,
an echo in
I
here.
think I heard Ms. Mitchell and then,
somebody.
Pick one.
all right, Shaney. Ms. Schultz? All right, Mr. Stevenson?
Good evening, members of the council. It's been a very long evening. I know everyone is tired and hungry. In fact, I saw one person wandering around earlier chewing on what I thought was a number 2 pencil. It turned out to be a carrot left over from somebody's lunch bag, so I'll try and get you through this as quickly as I can. The first ordinance before you this evening, as the council president said, 2545 is a resolution in the city of Salisbury, Maryland to accept a donation in the amount of $10,000 from the Salisbury Skate Park Committee Incorporated to be utilized for construction of Phase 1 of the Salisbury Skate Park. The only caveat here is that these monies would be used for additional skating surface. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Questions or comments? I think it's fantastic that they're willing and able to make this donation. And I know that donations have continued to be an important part of this project.
Oh, I will say it was a great night last third Friday with the auction of the skate decks and the concert at Headquarters Live. It was phenomenal. So I know that's where a lot of this came from, and it was awesome. Thank you.
All those in favor of resolution number 2545, please signify your support by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All right, next item is resolution 2546, is the accepting of donation of labor and materials from Lowe's. for beautification of Waterside Playground. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2546.
Second.
Mr. Spees, Mr. Heath, Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you. In the spirit of brevity, I'll get through this one quickly. Resolution 2546 is a resolution of the City of Salisbury, Maryland, accepting a donation of labor and materials for beautification of the Waterside Playground. City of Salisbury is interested in improving its recreation facilities, and Lowe's Companies Incorporated, store number 2424 of Salisbury, has selected Salisbury's Waterside Playground as the location for their Hero Project for 2015. The Hero Project includes donation of labor and materials at the estimated value of $3,500, including construction of, and some members I know of council, or at least one would be particularly pleased to hear this, a new gazebo, picnic tables, landscaping, painting, and mulch. Lowe's Companies, Inc., store number 424, Salisbury, is requesting approval of a donation from the City of Salisbury in the amount of, again, the $3,500.
May I?
Yes, Ms. Shields.
I'm so happy. I'm not a shouting person, but the gazebo was taken down about 2 or 3 years ago, and members of the community was asking when are they gonna get a new gazebo, and I had to find out why it was taken down, and it was unsafe. But also, I'm happy because I see that more is gonna be done to the playground than I even talked about, because I met with Mr. Moles, and I was telling him about the picnic tables. I see there's gonna be picnic tables, and I never even thought about painting the sign by the road, you know, that was something extra. I think it's gonna be more of a family-oriented type, park, and it is used quite often. The Hispanic community uses it for soccer and the basketball, and this will also help us with complement the basketball court that's gonna be remodeled. Now, the only thing, I'm hoping someone out there in La La Land or TV Land will hear that 2 grills are needed for that, because the grills are so small. And I think if that happens, I think that would be a good little small park for that community.
Excellent. Anything else?
Question?
Mr. Spees.
Regarding the gazebo, there is going to be a concrete footer for this, is there a concrete pad?
There's an existing slab.
There is an existing pad,
Yes,
and
it
it'll be
is.
the same footprint, pretty much? Do we have grills in the storage area?
We can knock those kind of grills.
Somebody donated,
Mhm.
to check to see if they were planning to go someplace else.
Okay.
So we can check on
How big are they? Because
Thank
the little teeny grills aren't.
I think they were supposed to go someplace else.
Anything else? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor of Resolution 2546, please signify your support by saying aye.
Aye.
Another great donation to our community.
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Louis.
Thank you, thank you.
And we'll try to get more information out in terms of when that program or project will take place.
Okay.
Thanks.
And lastly, I'll entertain a motion to approve Ordinance 2353 for first reading. This is granting the utility easement for Delmarva Power on Marine Road.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Tillman?
Okay, this is pretty much a routine ordinance in order to grant an easement with regard to the wastewater treatment plant. The ordinance of the City of Salisbury granting utility easement to Delmarva Power and Light Company across city-owned property on Marine Road in Salisbury, Maryland. Do you have any questions? We'll answer.
Other questions?
Any questions, don't ask. Kidding.
Hearing none, all those in favor of Ordinance 2353, please signify your support by saying aye.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a long evening. I will be brief, but I completely forgot to share this. We do have a couple flyers for Maryland Sun Salisbury, the Salisbury Solar Co-op up here. Neighbors in Salisbury have formed a co-op to make going solar easier. And this is a way to incorporate solar into your own property. So we have some flyers up here. There's a website, mdsun.org/Salisbury. Another exciting community effort. So if you're interested in that, feel free to grab a flyer. With that, unless there's nothing else for the good of the order, we are adjourned.
You're thirsty, Kim, or are you